Okay, can you guys hear me now?
A little bit better.
Okay, sounds good. So let's get started. I will include the three topics in this review session: the news vendor model and performance measures, and reactive capacity, and the revenue management. So I will not including the auction, and I highly recommend you to watch the auction videos. And there is some auction question in the final, but it's based on the very basic auction knowledges on on the slides, and go read the slides and watch the videos. Okay, so first the news vendor model. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, it's much better
Okay,
now.
great. Okay, news vendor model. Three type of questions: the cost and price based, performance measures, and cost based. So let's introduce the cost price based. So this one is in your quiz 2 question. So we have price, we have cost, and then we have salvage value. So we need to, based on these information is given, figure out optimal quantity and expected something, expect sales loss, expect lost sales, expect profit, and expect level of inventory. Okay, so in this question, we have the price is 15 and cost is 9, salvage is 7, and the mean is 500 and standard deviation of 70 units. Okay, news vendor model. How many adapters should Wood order from a supplier in order to achieve an in-stock probability of 95%? So if you see the in-stock probability, it basically tells you what is f of q or what is correct-to ratio is. So in-stock probability is defined as the probability that your demand is satisfied. So demand is satisfied is equal to or same as f of q or critical ratio. So this question is telling you how many adapters should order from a supplier in order to achieve a critical ratio equal to 95%. So once you have critical ratio or f of q equal to 95%, you go back to the standard normal distribution table with the run-up rule. Then you find z equal to 1.65 at probability of 0.9505, so slightly higher, so with the run-up rule. So z is equal to 1.65, and q is equal to z times standard deviation plus mean. Final answer is 615.5. And these are some equation of the performance measures I collected from the slides. So first, in-stock probability is the same as critical ratio. Someone in the chat. Okay. Stock out probability is equal to 1 minus the in-stock probability, which is same as 1 minus f of q. And the expected loss sales, L of q. At this time, if you see L, we use the loss function table. So do not go to the wrong table. So in many people in the quiz 1 go to the wrong table and find the wrong probability, and they are correct. You should go to a loss function when you see L or L of Q, L of Z. So in normal distribution, L of Q is equal to L of Z times sigma. But in Poisson distribution, the L of Q is strictly found in the Poisson loss function table. Okay, expected sales is equal to mu minus expected lost sales, same as mu times L of Q. The expected leftover inventory equal to Q minus expected sales. And expected profit is equal to CU times the expected sales minus CO times the expected leftover inventory. And the expected fail rate or is equal to expected sales divided by expected demand. Okay, these are the very important the performance measures equations, and also we have a target fail rate, and we will talk about later. That's okay. Newsman model. So go back to that question, the Wood question. Suppose instead that Wood manager decide to submit an order of 550 adapters to its supplier. What is the stock out probability for this order quantity? So this question is basically ask you it's already told you that the order quantity is 550 and you need to figure out the stock out probability, and the stock out probability is equal to 1 minus the critical ratio. So you have Q and you need to figure out the probability that 1 minus critical ratio. So Q is 550 and Z, you standardize the Q with Q minus mu divided by sigma. I got 0.7143. And in the standard normal distribution table with Z equal to 0.7143, I find the probability is equal to 0.611. And then that's the in-stock probability. And then stock out probability is equal to 1 minus f of Q is equal to 1 minus 0.7611. I got 0.2389. That's your stock out probability. Excuse me. Another question, a consultant with an MBA from DSB advised that fail rate target are more suited for a—
Could you go back real fast to that other slide?
What?
Could you go back to that other slide? To the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Are you taking notes?
I am taking some notes, yes.
I will send to you. I will publish.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't worry about it. Just go check the announcements. Maybe I will publish tomorrow or this tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So in this one it's asking you the target fail rate. So in the second equation, you have to memorize, or you can just take notes, pull out your cheat sheet and write it down. So it's very important. So you get your target fail rate is 98%. And you already know your mu and the sigma because it's normal distribution. And then figure out L of Z. So the L of Z is equal to 500 divided by 70 times 1 minus 0.98 because it's 98%. And the L of Z is equal to 0.142857. So you go find that you see the L of Z, you see L, when you see L of something, you go check the loss function table. And this is normal distribution, so you go to check the standard normal loss function table. So I find when Z is equal to 0.7, the L of Z is equal to 0.1429. And here you need to pay extra attention because we do not use roundup rule here to achieve that target fail rate. So your probability cannot exceed that probability of L of Z 0.1429. If your probability you find in the table exceed 0.1429, then you cannot reach your target fail rate. Your target fail rate gonna going down. So to find that one, I got when z is equal to 0.71, L of z is 0.1405. That's the one very close, but smaller than the 0.1429. So z value is 0.71. Okay, you need to pay extra attention in the target fail rate. No roundup rule will be used. So finally, Q is equal to Z times sigma plus mu, 0.71 times 70 plus 500. Okay, so when we are grading your quiz or your final exam, we will check your work. So if you choose 0.7 and the final answer, there's no much difference in the final answer, but we will check your z value. If you choose z value is equal to 0.7 and your final answer is in the correct answer range, you still got it wrong, okay? So this is what the point of target fail rate here. Okay, so in the chat.
Hey, Ray, quick question.
Yes.
How would this change if it was a Poisson problem?
This
With like
Poisson,
Yeah.
I haven't think about it. So most likely, I like 99%. It's normal distribution.
Okay.
Then I think if it's Poisson, then this part it's going to change to target L of Q is equal to target L of Q equal to 1 minus target fail rate. So mu divided by sigma is going to be removed. I think so. But I will double check and send out the announcements tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. In the chat, someone asked the slides is different than I posted. Yes, because I have spent quite a fun amount of time on updating these slides and make sure if you are attending my review session, you will get benefits in the final. So I'm fine. I'm looking for the similar questions that appear in the final exam, but similar kinds of questions. For those people who didn't attend my session, gonna suck in the final exam. Okay. Okay, so this one, the review session slide is built based on the final exam, and all the important points that I highlighted, and it's going to be very important. Okay, next one. Now suppose the wood managers submit an order of 525 adapters to its supplier. What is fill rate for this order quantity? Okay, so the fill rate, expect fill rate is equal to demand, expect sales divided by expect demand. So expect sales divided by mu. So we need to figure out the expected sales. So expect sales is derived from the lost sales. When you see lost sales, you need to go to the loss function table, right? And the manager submit an order of 525 adapter, which means Q is already given. Q is 525. Then you need to figure out L of Q, and then expect sales equal to mu minus L of Q, right? Let's see the answers. This is my notes. Okay, it's right here. Okay, order quantity is determined. So Q is 525. So expect sales is mu minus expect loss sales, or L of Q. First, for finding L of Q, we standardize the Q to Z value. So Z, I got 0.36. You go to the loss function table, because L of Q. To find L of Z first. L of 0.36 equal to 0.2445. And then L of Q in the normal distribution, L of Q is equal to L of Z times sigma. So I got 17.115. And expect sales is equal to 500. The 500 is mu minus 17.115. I got 482.885. So finally, the expect fail rate is equal to expect sales divided by mu is equal to 482.885 divided by 500. And the final answer is going to be 96.58%. Okay, next one. So this one is talking about the cost-based problem.
I have a quick question on the last one.
Yes.
If we go back, that line where it says we need to find. Sorry, I got the one that we just did. Yeah, if you go ahead and click on the notes. So it says we need to find L of Q first, and then it says Z equals that equation. Where did we, I can see where we pulled the 525, but then the 500 over 70, is that standard deviation and over the mean? Is that right?
You mean the 525 minus 500 divided by 70?
Yeah.
So that one is the standardization for the Q. So you need to find the Z value first, and then go find the L of Z. And then L of Q is equal to L of Z times sigma.
Okay. Okay.
Does it make
Yeah.
sense?
That's
Yeah.
the equation to find Z is your Q minus mu over sigma. That's just one of those formulas we have to memorize.
Yeah.
And then you take the L of that gives you Z, and then you find in the loss function table that Z value to give you your expected losses.
So we're just rearranging the equation. Okay. Yeah, that's all we're doing, right? We're just rearranging that equation.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me see what's in the, okay, what happened in the chat. We will talk about later, so don't worry about it. When to use loss function, when to use the standard normal function or Poisson function. Yeah, if it's a loss, and then if you see L of Q, L of Z, you see L of Q, L of Z to find the Z value. You have Z value, you need L of Z, L of Q. And that this time you go to the loss function table. We will talk about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, so cost-based problem. So this one, we don't have any price. CU is not always price minus cost. COE is not always the cost minus salvage. Okay, so this one, we only have cost. We figure out CU and CO based on the cost. So this one, mean 3,600 DVDs and standard deviation 60. The wavelength, this question is appeared in the I think it's week 2 problem set 1 or 2, like that, but it's in your practice problem. Just read this question, and we have the cost per day incurred for this capacity is 0.1 Q. no matter whether the capacity is fully utilized or not. If demand on a day exceeds the chosen capacity, then WebFlex process the entire excess using overtime. In that case, each DVD handled with overtime costs 0.15 to process. What is optimal processing capacity that WebFlex will need? So we have inputs here. Normal capacity cost per day is 0.1 Q. Overtime cost per day is 0.15 Q. So CU is equal to 0.15 minus 0.1 equal to 0.05. CO is 0.1 because why CU is 0.05? So it's the I wish I could have one more capacity. If you have one more capacity, you're gonna pay extra $0.05 for one capacity that you have. So it's the cost of underage. CO equals the overage. And then F of Q is 0.333 with that run up through in the standard normal distribution table. F of Z equal to 0.43 is equal to 0.3336. And then we choose Z is equal to negative 0.43. And then optimal order quantity is equal to Q plus Q equal to mean plus sigma times Z value. I got 3574. Okay. Another way to explain this problem is we just plug in a number. Okay, let's do it. So CU is underage cost of demand greater than capacity. So basically means I wish I could have one more capacity. So in that situation, for example, if demand is 101, but capacity is 100, at this time, the cost going to be 10 plus 0.15 is 10.15. But if the demand is equal to capacity, then the cost is 101 times 0.1. I got 10.1. So the cost of regret of having overtime is 10.15 minus 0.1 equal to 0.05. So that's your basically your the underage cost, CU. So underage cost is the marginal cost. It's basically based on 1 unit. So 1 unit at that time Q is 1, then 0.05 times 1 is 0.05. Then CO is overage cost. It's overage cost of demand less than capacity. It means I wish I could have one less capacity. So for example, if demand is 99, but capacity is 100, then cost is going to be 99 times 0.1 is 9.9. If demand is equal to capacity equal to 100, then cost is equal to 100 times 0.1. I got 10. So cost overage is equal to 10 minus 9.9 equal to 0.1. So this is you just plug in the number to figure out the CU and CO. Try different numbers, but the increments were gonna be 1 because the underage and overage cost is marginally. So it depends on 1 unit difference. So I think in the homework 1, we have a question like, we have like, give me 1 second. Let me check that. Okay, let me check that. Homework 1. Okay, let me share my screen. Where it is? Okay, it's here. Okay, so OSC supply office supply company. So in this question, the cost of inventory, the unneeded part of 6 months is $5. And then the unit cost under regular semi-annual shipment is 32 per part. And the cost of emergency shipment is $50 per part. So this one is your CU is going to be, I wish I could have one more part, but your CU is your the emergency shipment has 2 parts. The original semi-annual shipment, $32 plus $18. So you pay 50, but you pay extra $18 based on your base shipment, $32. So we're gonna have similar questions based on this question. If you go practice this question and go practice again. Okay, homework 1, question 13, the OSC question. And also, when you figure out CU and CO, I will tell you CO is $5 and CU is $18. 18 is equal to 50 minus 33. And when you figure out the optimal order quantity, don't forget to subtract the 3, because we have 3 on hand. Okay, let's go back to the slides. So far, so good.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, loss function table. When to use loss function table? So when we calculate L of Z, when calculate L of Z, the target failure rate is known. So in that target failure rate question, 98% target failure rate. So you need to figure out the Z. So figure out L of Z. When you see L of Z, L of Q, at performance measures, L of Q is expected loss sales, and expect sales is equal to mean minus L of Q, and same as expect leftover inventory. When you see L or you have Z, you need to find L of Z, L of Q. You go to a loss function table. L means lost, so it's loss function table. Okay, when to use roundup rule. So when you find optimal order quantity, when you figure out the critical ratio or F of Q, or there's a typo here, it should be critical ratio. And when L of Q or L of Z is no, find Z or Q, you with roundup rule. When do not use roundup rule, so when the target failure rate is no, find the Q. So only the target failure rate, you find the closest one, but smaller value with your probability. And then you need to, with your, probability, and then find out Q. Otherwise, your target failure rate gonna going down. F of Q or critical ratio or probability is exactly same as probability in the table. So you find the one that the probability is the same one as you can find in the Poisson table or normal table. Just take that number. Don't find a higher one. Okay.
So right,
Yeah.
just so I understood that correctly. So if they don't meet up exactly for the target fill rate one, you're saying to round down?
Yes, round down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Don't run. If you find the same one, exactly same one, just take that number for the target fill rate. But normally you run down don't run up, you messed up.
Okay, cool.
And
Thank you.
that's the only time, because I do get confused with that too, but it's only when we're doing the target fill rate that we go down, or when it's exactly the same number, but there's no other instances.
I haven't found other references, but until now, I think so. Yeah.
All right, cool, thanks.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's do capacity, reactive capacity and mismatch cost. So in the performance measures, the expect profit is equal to CU times expect sales minus CO times the expect leftover inventory. And the maximum profit is CU times mu. Don't mess up with the in the homework 4, the revenue management, it asking you without revenue management, what will be the profit expect revenue for the vendor. So for that one, it's just the low fare ticket times the capacity. So it's different from here, the maximum profit. The maximum profit is equal to CU times mu. The demand supply mismatch cost is equal to the maximum profit minus expect profit, or in the other way is CO, you expand it, CO times the expect level of inventory plus CU times the expected lost sales. Okay, reactive capacity. We need to break down 2 parts. The first one is expensive reactive supply, and another one is limited reactive capacity, or limited reactive capacity. So the first one, expensive reactive supply. The background of this is the tech give the second order option. Instead of the first one, the cost of each HAMR 3x2 wetsuit is 110, but you get a second order option, but you pay more. So you in the first in the first order option, just the order option without a second order option, you have like how to say it, so one-time purchase is the cost is 110, but when you add second order option, you know the demand that exceed the first you sell, and then you know the demand, then the second order option is to satisfy your where your demand is left off. So second, you can how do you say it? You can order at the first order everything in the first order, or not order anything in the fourth order, but in the second order you know your customers' demand, then in the second order you're gonna have all your order quantity is same as your demand. Does that make sense? So, but there's a trade-off. In the first order, you could have leftover inventory or lost sales, but the price is cheaper or the cost is less. But in the second order option, there's no lost sales or leftover inventory, but your cost is higher. in this example, 132 versus 110. Okay, so this one shows on the slides if tech is the second order option, but with new premium charges. Tech charges a premium of 20% per unit in the second order. So in this, if you have two order options or you have added another second order option, the CU/CO changes, but the real thing is CO keep the same, but CU changes. Okay, increase or decrease we don't care, but the CU changes. CU the CU changes from the price minus cost minus salvage to become the premium. It's 20% of 110, so it's $22. So we no longer face the risk of lost sales because second order allow us to produce up to the update the demand forecast. So the cost of ordering too little per unit is no longer the gross margin. It is the premium we pay for units in the second order. So CU changes from the only one order option to the two second order option added. It's 132 minus 110. We got 32. So CU changes in the expensive reactive supply. So in the homework, in this quiz 2, we have remember in the bonus, before the bonus question, it asking you, we have Sarah has a proposal that no, sorry. In the homework 4, homework 3, we have China question 5 and 6. Question 4 and 5. We have Chinese supplier and a European supplier. So it's basically tells you Chinese supplier is the first order option, and European supplier is the second order option. So you need to use that to understand it. Okay, limited reactive capacity. Let's do the expensive reactive capacity first. Okay, this question is from homework 3. So with mean 500 and standard deviation is 350. So the price is $80 and salvage is 25. However, they don't have enough expertise to manufacture these jackets. So the cost is $40 in the Asian supplier. So JJ negotiate the following additional cost. If JJ demand exceeds its initial order quantity, order anytime during the season, then supplier will immediately produce additional jackets for JJ at unit price of 65. So this sentence is basically the second order option. Okay, the second order option, but cost is higher. It's from original cost $40 to $65. CU becomes a cost premium and the CO stay the same. So CU is equal to the premium. Premium is the difference from the new price and the old price. So it's going to be 65 minus 40 equals 25. And CO stayed still the same. So 40 minus 25 salvage equal to 15. So when you use critical ratio CU divided by CU plus CO, I got 0.625. And in the normal the standard normal distribution table with roundup rule, I got Z value 0.32. And the Q is 0.32 times 350 plus 500 is 6. So with second order option, JJ's initial order is 612 versus A64. A64 is the result. So with the second order option, the optimal order increase. So JG can always order what the leftover demand is in second order. So it basically says
Hey,
the second
why
order,
is it doing
the
this?
JG only order where the demand is left off. So after the second order, JG will not have any leftover inventory or unsatisfied demand. Okay, let me what's in the chat. Okay, never mind.
Would you mind going back to the previous slide before that one?
This one?
The one after that, the initial like setup. Okay, I was just confused on something. Thank you.
I actually have a question.
Mhm.
On the CO, is that 25 from the CU, or is that from the problem previously? Is that like a salvage value? Okay,
Salvage
so
is
it's
25.
okay.
Okay, let's move on the limited reactive capacity. So this part is very important. Okay, very important. It's gonna like 40% of your final exam score. Okay, I started. So it has a trade show. So before the trade show, the firm produced the use window model, the optimal order quantity, and also the firm's expected profit is equal to the use vendor expected profit. After the trade show, the firm produced the demand by using reactive capacity, and the expected profit is equal to maximum profit. Remember how we calculate the maximum profit? The maximum profit is equal to CU times mu. The news vendor expected profit is equal to here. The CU times the expected sales minus CO times the expected level of inventory. Excuse me. Okay. So let's do this question. So final exam going to be like this format and give you the table, whereas the price, mu, sigma, CO, CUQ, and you vendor expect profit, and asking some similar questions like this. Okay, the first one, what is firm's expected profit if Aripaka is produced before the trade show? So before the trade show, the firm's expect profit going to be the use vendor model expect profit. So it's basically sum up those expect profit A, B, C, D, E. So the total going to be this number, 299984. The second question, what is firm's expected profit if Aripaka is produced after the trade show? So after the trade show, the firms have the maximum profit. So maximum profit is equal to CU times mu. For example, for Paka A, so it's CU is 52.8 times mu 1000. So it's 52,800. So the total expect profit if Aripaka is produced after trade show is going to be the sum of all of the maximum profit from Paka A to Paka E. Okay, any questions until now?
Just a quick question. So we kind of expect to see like kind of a table like this on the upcoming exam. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, you cut off. Can you say it again?
Yeah, we expect to see a similar table like this on the exam.
Yes, you are expect to like see this green table like this,
Thanks, Ray.
or which is same as the homework 3. If you go to the homework 3, it's kind of similar questions.
Do you know if he'll post it in such a way that you can copy paste the data over rather than posting it as an image so you don't have to enter it all yourself?
I think it's going to be just the image. You cannot copy paste on Canvas.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, but it will not like that much A, B, C, D, E, that much rows, but at least 4, I think. At least 4 types of Paka or greater, the similar questions. If you gonna input from the data from the Canvas to Excel, you need to pay extra attention. Don't mess up with data. Okay, so question C. Okay, unfortunately, the firm's capacity is limited after the trade show, so the firm needs to produce at least 5,000 units before the trade show. So it means the firms need to produce around 5,000 units. Ignore the at least, so 5,000 units. It's not the upper bound, it's around 5,000. So assume that a Paka can be produced either before or after the trade show, but the Paka should not be produced in both production opportunities. So this question, which means you're gonna produce some type of Paka in the before the trade show and some other types of Paka after the trade show. And what should be the production quantity before the trade show be for each Paka? So let's do it. So it's so this one is kind of complicated. Let's see what's in the chat. Use print screen. Okay. Okay, step 1. You need to figure out your maximum profit for each Paka. And step 2, figure out the mismatch cost. Mismatch cost is equal to maximum profit minus the news vendor model expected profit. So the good thing is expected profit is given in the table, and all you need to calculate is the maximum profit. Step 3, mismatch cost divided by quantity ratio. The quantity ratio is Q. It's in the table. Step 4, sort numbers in step 3 with descending order. Basically, your sort numbers rank the numbers from the most to the least. Okay, here's my work. So for example, in Paka A, the first step is calculate the maximum profit. Maximum profit is equal to CU times mu is equal to 52.8 times 1,000. And step 2, mismatch cost is your maximum profit minus the expected profit is your 52,800 minus 41,740 equal to 11060. And finally, step 3 is your mismatch cost divided by quantity Q ratio. That ratio is equal to 11060 divided by 1,202. I got 9.2. So you can see all these calculations here for these numbers. So mismatch cost divided by quantity ratio. Paka A 9.2, Paka B 9.76, Paka C 9.56, Paka D 8.83, Paka E 7.74. And then ranking them from the most to the least, from the least to the most. So the least is 7.74. So it's 1. And then Paka, so D is 2, Paka C, Paka A is 3. So the order is E, D, A, B, C, A, C, B. Okay. So, and then you need to calculate, it's around 5,000 units to be produced. So the first is Paka E, so 1472, it's a goal. And then second production plus the first plus production plus second production is total is 4281, and it's a goal. And the third one is Paka A. You add up, you get 5483, and still go because it's around 5,000. So right now it's around 5,000. So you stop here. The left two, Paka B and Paka C, is no go. So you're gonna record the demand of Paka B and Paka C and produce it in after the trade show. Okay, so far so good.
Yep.
Okay.
Will he ever give us one where it's not real, like, it seems like in the homework so far, it's been pretty close where the cutoff line is. Well, if it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm trying to like just get my head wrapped around. So if we're trying to decide if it's go or no go, and if we have like one more item to produce, but that's going to push us over, but one less is like way low. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do we handle that? Or is it not going to be a problem on the test?
So in this one, if you add the fourth, the Paka C, the quantity is 4,000, and then it's up to 10,000. It's going to be no go. So comparing 5,000.
So as soon as we're adding just a little bit too much, even if it's just a little bit, we skip that whole item.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says at least 5,000. So you're trying to look at the
Yes.
closest to
It's
5,000.
at least 5,000, but not too much.
All right.
So do we like basically stop once we go over, like once A goes over 5,000, that's when we know to stop. Is that kind of a good way to look at it?
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, what is expected number of units the firm will produce after the trade show? After the trade show, it's B and C. Obviously by the table. Okay, what is firm's total expected profit? So total expected profit, it's going to be, let's go back to the total expected profit. So it's before the trade show and after the trade show. Before the trade show, it's going to, the expected profit is same as user vendor expected profit. So in the table, it's going to be Paka E expected profit 27011 and Paka D 59186 and Paka A 41740. These three numbers together going to be before the trade show. After the trade show, it's going to earn maximum profit. Maximum profit is equal to mu times Q. So in the table, maximum profit is Paka B and C, Paka B and Paka C. So add these two numbers together, and then the total profit, the total expected profit is going to be at that two part numbers together. Make sense? So basically, before the trade show, the profit plus after the trade show profit. Before the trade show is news vendor expect profit. After trade show is the maximum profit. So it's two parts, add them together. Here's the explanation. Okay, no questions, let's move on. So given the firm's production strategy, what is the probability that is will have more than 200 units of inventory of Paca C left at the end of the season? So Paca B and Paca C, we produce it after trade show. So we recorded the Paca B and Paca C demand in the before the trade show, and we produce after. So there's no any leftovers or lost sales for Paca B and Paca C. So its answer is 0. So Paca C is produced after the trade show, and only quantity produced exactly match its demand. So there's no demand supply mismatch, either leftover inventory or lost sales for Paca C. For Paca EDA, they have because they produced by their news vendor optimal order quantity, so they will have leftover inventory or lost sales if you produce those Pacas before the trade show. But after the trade show, no leftover inventory, no lost sales, because the firm only produced the quantity same as the demand. Okay. And G, given the firm's production strategy, what is the probability that it will have more than 100 units of inventory of Paca E left at the end of the season? So Paca E is produced before the trade show, which means the optimal production quantity is news vendor optimal production quantity. So it will have the leftover inventory. So the question is asking you more than 100 units inventory left at the end of the season. So we have Paca E is produced 1472 units, and the leftover inventory is more than 100 units. Which means convert to the demand. It means the demand for Paca E is less than 1372 units. So the probability of leftover inventory for Paca E greater 100 units is equal to the probability that demand is less than 1372, which is FQ is equal to 1372. So why? Because our demand model is the probability that demand is less than or equal to Q. So we write it as FQ. So here the demand is less than 1372. So we write it as F1372. So once you get 1372, so we standardize with Z value. Z is equal to 1372 minus 1000 divided by 700. I got 0.53. And then find it in the standard normal distribution table. We got FZ equal to 0.53. I got 0.7019 or 70.19%. Until here, everybody good?
In that 1000 where you have 1372 minus 1000, was that the mu? I don't remember where the 1000.
Yeah, that's a mu.
Okay.
And Ray, just I guess from just out of curiosity, if this said the leftover inventory is less than 100, this would just be the same thing, but at the end you do 1 minus 70%, right?
if okay, let me think about it. So if it's less than 100 units, then it means your demand is going to greater than 1372. So it's same as your probability that demand is greater than 1372. And so it's, which is same as 1 minus probability that demand is less than 1372. So it's 1 minus F 1372. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to the revenue management. So revenue management, there's assumption. So we have two fare classes, high fare and low fare. High fare is marked as RH and low fare is marked as RL. So the demand for low fare is ample, which means you don't have to worry about the not selling any empty capacity to low fare. But for high fare is random. So it will tell you, for example, the protection level for high fare is no, the demand for high fare is random. It's normal distributed or Poisson distributed or other distributions. Or in some overbooking situations, you only have your no shows is random, either in Poisson distribution or normal distributions. So your high fare is random. Always forecast the quantity for high fare. So something is random that you need to forecast. Something is certainly you don't have to forecast it. Okay. So quantity protected for high fare is called protection level, and for low fare is called booking limit. So you always set up Q first and need to know what Q represents. Protection level, for example, you need to forecast your protection level for high fare. You need to set the Q as protection level. If you need to decide the overbooking quantity, and you need to set up the Q as overbooking quantity. But sometimes you're gonna mess up with the Q, the different Qs. You may denote as Q star or Q something. Okay, so in forecasting the protection level, we set the Q as the protection level for high fare. CU is equal to the difference between high fare and low fare. If you cannot understand it, why we CU is that, just memorize it. For all of the situations, CU for forecasting the protection level for high fare is equal to CU is difference between high fare plus low fare, and CO is always low fare. Do you want me to explain why CU is high fare minus low fare and CO is low fare?
I'm good to memorize.
Okay. If you want me to explain, it's okay. I can explain to you. It's very simple logic. But if you don't, I'm okay. Then f of q is cu plus cu divided by cu plus co. Then plug in is high fare minus low fare divided by low fare. And when determining the overbooking quantity, you set at this time you set the q as overbooking quantity, and cu is always be low fare. CO is your penalty per customer bound. So in the quiz 2, yeah, it's in the quiz 2. Let's go back to the quiz 2. Okay, in question 8, can you see it? The penalty is inferred here. So he estimates that his loss from a passenger holding a valid reservation who is denied a seat is 550. So this sentence is basically tells you the penalty for the flight company to pay the passenger who has a valid reservation but don't have a seat is 550. So that's the CO is 550. You overbook too many, that you have the customer have the valid reservation, but they don't have seats. Okay, so these kind of this sentence or similar sentence is telling you the penalty of CO. It's okay. So let's go back. The CO is penalty per customer bound. So F of Q you plug in. So RL divided by RL, the low fare plus penalty per customer bound. Okay, revenue management. Determine the expected loss sales if your protection level or booking limit is given. So if your booking limit is given, then first figure out the protection level. The protection level is equal to capacity minus the booking limit, because protection level plus booking limit is capacity. So you convert from the booking limit to protection level. So if the protection level is given, then figure out the Z, because protection level is Q. Then you figure out Z, standardize Q to the Z, and then find the loss L of Z, find in the loss function table, and then find L of Q. If it's Poisson distribution, just no extra step to find L of Z. Just with the Z value, you can find directly to the L of Q in the Poisson distribution table.
So, quick question. In the quiz on question 5, which I got wrong.
Quiz them.
Quiz 2. So it said that the booking limit for the low fare is equal to capacity plus overbooking minus the high fare. So I was confused about, yes, this question. Because the way I read this question, it should have been just a simple 125 minus 30. But apparently I was wrong.
So the overbooking basically increase your booking limit. So the increase the booking, so your protection limit is 30, so it's increased to 38.
Okay.
No. So sorry. So the protection limit is 30, and then it's you're adding 8 to your capacity 125. You got 133, and then you subtract the protection limit 30, so it's 103 is your booking limit.
Okay, so whenever we see an overbooking, we're adding to the capacity.
Yes.
In theory. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we're adding to the booking limit, not the protection level,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Okay, let me go back.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, second one determines expected leftover inventory if protection level or booking limit is given. So if first, it will directly give you the protection level. So this time protection level is Q. So if they gives you the booking limit, then you need to calculate the protection level by using capacity minus booking limit. So when you figure out the booking protection level is what is the protection level, and then you figure out the Z value by standardize the protection level Q, and then find out the loss of L of C and then L of Q. If it's Poisson distribution, then you skip the L of Z part to go direct to the L of Q, the lost cells. Okay, and then find the expected sales. And lastly, the expected level of the inventory by the performance measures, the formulas. Okay, and the third, there's probability problem. You need to map the question. Okay,
Hey, real
by
quick,
going
Ray.
the table.
Hey,
Yes?
Ray, just real quick, when you're saying figure out Z, that's just the quantity minus mu over sigma, right? That gives
Yes.
us. Yeah.
Yes. So, because when you set up Q as a protection level, then Z is equal to Q minus mean divided by sigma. So figure out means you standardize the Q to the Z value. Okay, let's do this question. The Broadway Theater in NYC houses 1,761 seats in order to maximize revenue. So this question is basically from the homework 4. So in order to maximize revenues, the theater has decided to have two fare classes, high fare and low fare. High fare sell for 100, low fare for 75. There's ample demand for low fare classes, but high fare demands random. Furthermore, the customers who buy low fares buy their tickets well in advance before the high fare customers. Assume the demand for high fare tickets is normally distributed with mean of 1,200 and a standard deviation of 150. How many high fare seats to reserve? So how many high fare seats to reserve? So in this question, you set Q as high fare protection level. Then the underage cost is CU. CU is difference of high fare and low fare if you memorize it. So it's the logic here is I didn't protect enough seats. So by protecting one more seat, I could have sold it at high fare of 100 instead of the low fare 75. So CU is the difference of high fare and low fare. So it's 25. CO, the logic means the seats were empty instead of selling at least the low fare of $75. By protecting one less seat, I could have sold it at the low fare of 75 instead of getting 0 for it. So CO is $75. So you calculate the critical ratio, CU divided by C plus CO, and plug in, we get the critical ratio is 0.25. Go find the Z value. Z value in the standard normal distribution table. So with the run-up rule, you find a Z value is equal to negative 0.67, and the Q is equal to mu plus Z times sigma. So find like 1100. Run up to 1100. Okay, so far so good.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Let's do this question. So this question is kind of similar to the final exam. I'm telling you, but you need to figure it out. So it's kind of similar with the overbooking, but it's not. So, but this one is similar with the one we just talked about, the reactive capacity in the last question of the reactive capacity. So what is the probability that there are at least 50 empty seats when a booking limit of 561 is selected for low fare tickets? Anybody?
Would that be that you at least have like 561 minus 50 seats total or whatever?
No. So it tells you at least 50 seats. So it tells you the booking limit 561. You need to figure out your protection level. Your protection level is your capacity minus the booking limit. It's 1761 minus 561. I got 1200 for protection level. So the question is changes to the probability that there are at least 50 empty seats when the protection level is 1200 for the low fare tickets. So you forecasting the protection level, and its protection level is given is 1200. What is probability? So let me introduce it here. So your protection level is 1200. So let Q represent protection level. So Q is 1200. So probability of empty seats greater or equal to 50 is same as the probability of demand for high fare is less than or equal to 1150. So it's basically the F 1150. Does that make sense?
Was the capacity in the word in the problem?
Yes, it's in the previous. Yeah, the
Oh,
Broadway Theater in New York City houses 1761 seats. So 1761 is your capacity. Your capacity is limited.
gotcha. Thanks.
Yeah. So this one is your protection level, because since your demand for high fare is random, so you have the probability have empty seats greater or equal to 50 is same as the probability that demand for high fare is less than or equal to 1150. So we can write it same as F 1150. So you standardize 1150 with Q minus mean divided by sigma, I got negative 0.33. And then go to the standard normal distribution table with Z value is negative 0.33. I got 0.3707 or 37.07%. So demand model is probability of demand less than or equal to Q. So we can write it as FQ. Fair enough?
Yeah. And
Okay.
so just to be clear on that, so on the Z tables, if we're looking for a probability and we know Z, that's going to be the value inside the table. But if we have Z, more than likely we're going to be plugging that back into some type of formula. Sometimes I get confused with like what the inside of the table actually means. It's always a probability though. Is that
Yes.
right?
So give me 1 second. Okay, let me pull out something. Miss- Okay, so let me draw a bell curve. So this is a standard normal distribution. This is a Gaussian distribution. So here is 0, right? If you see your z value is like in the x-axis, all your value on the x-axis is your z value. And all these areas below the curve is your probability. So if you find in that question, z value is negative point something, just arbitrary, just pick one, negative 0.33.
3-3, yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be the negative. Negative is going to be on the left side. So for example, this one is negative 0.33, and we draw a vertical line here. So all these values on all these areas under the curve, but on the left of this vertical line, this area is the probability that the z value is negative 0.33.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And also the z value of negative 0.33, this area is less than 0.5, because at the 0 here, the whole area under the curve on the left side of this y-axis 0 is 0.5. The probability is 0.5. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So okay, let's see again. So when you have your probability, in a table, you have like 0.1, then there's 0.9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are you find the z value. For example, it's 0.33. For example, z is 0.33. Then you find 0.3, and the second decimal place going to be the first row, 0.33. So trace here, trace here. So we find this value is your probability when your z value is 0.33. Make sense? But when you find f of q, or critical ratio is something, for example, 0.45. This 0.45 is going to be this probability. But when you need to have this probability to find corresponding z value to figure out your q, because q is equal to z times sigma plus mu. You know the mu, you know sigma, but you don't know the z, but you know f of q, you know the probability. So you have the probability. You need to find out the z value. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So when we're finding f of q, that number, yeah, that gives us the inside of the table number. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. That does help actually. Thank you.
Yeah. And also in the quiz 2, let's do some qualitative questions in the quiz 2. So let's see. We still draw this bell curve. And this is 0. The demand model is like this. For example, the probability. Probability that demand is less than or equal to Q. Is same as this is Q at this vertical line. This is Q. The probability in the corresponding the area under the curve is going to be here. You see?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another one. Let me erase this. We still draw the bell curve. Okay, this is 0. So it says quiz 2. In the qualitative questions, no, sorry, it's in the quiz 1. Okay, question 15, if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so use vendor is used to make optimal inventory decisions for a fashion apparel manufacturer. So fixed rental costs or do not influence optimal order quantity. And this one is true. If the critical ratio is 0.8 and the corresponding optimal order quantity is thought, then there's 20% probability that turning one or more customer away. So this, so for example, this area is 0.8. Not turning customer away. In-stock probability is defined as the probability that all demand are satisfied. So it's 8.8%. Turning customer away, which means demand is not satisfied. So this area is 0.2%, 0.2 or 20%. So turning customer away is 20%. So it's true. Let's go back. If the critical ratio is 0.4, then the optimal order quantity is less than demand. Yes. If the critical ratio is 0.4, so 0.4, so this line is divided. Okay. This line on the left is 0.5, on the right is 0.5. So he said this area is 0.4. So let me see. Then optimal order quantity is less than the mean demand. So let's do this. So this one is 0.4, then this is 0. So this value here, z value here, c is negative something. So q is equal to z times sigma plus mean. So z is negative, so q gonna decrease, right? And also, if you if z increase. If Z is positive, then Z is positive, then the optimal order quantity is increase. And the bigger Z value we get, the higher optimal order quantity. Okay, and also the mu. If mu is bigger, then the order quantity is always higher. Okay, make sense?
I think so.
Could you repeat that one more time? If mu is higher, what?
The mu is higher, then the optimal order quantity is always higher. But not means the sigma is higher. So when sigma is higher, the optimal order quantity is not always higher. It depends on the Z, the sign of Z value. If it's negative, the higher sigma contributes to the lower order quantity. Okay. So Zach asked that the booking limit is equal to capacity plus overbooking minus protection limit. Yes. So if you have the overbooking situation, then you add on. And if you don't, then the booking limit, you don't have overbooking, then you have a booking limit is equal to capacity minus the protection level. Yeah. Okay, let me go back. Okay, this question clear? Let's move on. Okay, determine the overbooking quantity. The Broadway Theater knows that some of the customers who reserved tickets will not show. So the theater estimates that the cost of turning a customer away due to the overbooking is 125. So this sentence basically tells you the penalty that the theater have to pay the customer who have the valid reservation but don't have the seat. So this is the penalty of CO. Furthermore, they estimate the distribution of no-shows to be normally distributed with a mean 100 and the standard deviation of 25. So overbooking. For overbooking, some no-show is random. So you only know the no-show distribution. So how many customers should Broadway overbook per show? Okay, here you let Q is number of customer to overbook. CU is the low fare, equal to low fare. If you memorize it, CU is a low fare. But the logic under CU is equal to low fare is I didn't overbook enough seats, and hence there is at least one empty seat. By overbooking one more seat, I could have sold it for at least the low fare of $75. Overage cost is your penalty that for each customer bumped. So it's $125 for each customer turn away. It costs $125. For each customer have a valid reservation but don't have seat for them. So the theater have to pay $125 to turn that customer away. That's a penalty that the theater have to pay. That's the CO of the overage cost. By overbooking one less seat, I would have saved $125. So CO is 125. So critical ratio F of Q is equal to CU divided by CU plus CO. So I got 0.375. So you can imagine in that bell curve, the 0.375 is less than 0.5. So your Z value is going to be negative. So you find the distribution table, find the Z, the F negative. The F of Q is with roundup rule, it's 0.3783. So the Z value I got negative 0.31. So the Q is equal to mu plus Z times sigma. So I finally got 92.25. for the overbooking. Okay, anybody have questions?
Nope.
Okay, let's move on. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's move on. So determine the expected loss sales if protection level or booking limit is given. So this question is in the homework 4. If the protection level is set at 1,000 tickets, so how many high fare customer will be refused a ticket on average? So you let Q represent the protection level, then Q is equal to 1,000. Then Z, you standardize it. Z is equal to Q minus mu divided by sigma. So I got plug in chart, I get negative 1.33. So Z is negative 1.33. You need to find the loss sales. Loss sales, when you see loss, you need to go to the loss function table. The loss sales, I got L of Z equal to 1.3727. So since it's normal distribution, L of Q is equal to L of Z times sigma, or the standard deviation. So L of Q, the loss sales, is equal to sigma times L of Z. I got 150 times 1.3727. So final answer is 205.9. Okay. Next one, determine the expected leftover inventory when protection level and booking limit is given. So if the booking limit is set up 500 tickets, how many empty seats will be there on average? So still, you let the protection level is Q. Q is protection level. Your booking limit is 500. Then your Q or protection level is your capacity 17060 or 1761 minus 500 is 1261. So you standardize Z value with the Z equal to Q minus mu divided by sigma. I got 0.41, and then still you need loss sales. So L of Z equal to standard normal loss function table. We find L of Z equal to 0.2270. And then L of Q, or loss sales, is equal to L of Z times sigma. So don't forget to use the L of Z times sigma to find the actual loss sales. So most people who get the wrong number is either go find the wrong table, or he forgot to times the sigma. So here you need to pay extra attention. We need to don't forget to times the sigma. So once you get L of Q or loss sales, the expect sales from high fare customer is equal to mu times L of Q, mu minus L of Q. Then leftover inventory is Q minus expect sales. So the leftover inventory is equal to 95.05. Okay. And also we have another kind of questions. It can determine the expected profit, expected revenue for both low fare and high, the protection level, or low fare and high fare tickets. So for low fare tickets, the revenue for low fare tickets is your booking limit times your low fare ticket price. But for high fare revenue is going to be your protection level times your expected sales. And then your total revenue is going to be not two parts together. It's not shown in this PowerPoint, so I just let you know. We might have that questions in the final.
Could you say it one more time for taking notes?
So someone in the chat, yes, it's going to be posted. Go check the announcements on Canvas tomorrow morning. I will post it there. Okay.
Hey Ray, real quick, what did you say is not in the slides?
Okay, so it's the question is asking you the expected total revenue for high fare and low fare tickets. So what will be the expected revenue? It shows on your homework 4. So your expected. Let me make extra slides. Okay. Give me 1 second. Is it? Okay. We're almost done. Okay, so it's in the homework 4, question 7. Oh, question 3. Give me 1 second. Let me make that happen.
So looking at that problem, I guess what you're saying is that the total expected earnings is the booking limit times the low fare plus the expected sales from high fare customers times the high fare. That's what you're saying.
Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, so it's yeah. So what do you? So as you said, so it's the total revenue. It's the expected total revenue is equal to expected revenue from high fare plus expected revenue from low fare, and the expected revenue from low fare is equal to the low fare ticket price times the booking limit, and the expected revenue for high fare is expected sales times the ticket price. So the total expected revenue is add that two items together. Okay, so we'll move to next. So I put this slide here. So determine the expected total revenue is the P, the protection level or booking limit is given. Okay, the probability problem based on the overbooking. So this one is the most headache question I think for you guys to figure out at least one MTCs, at least the 3 MTCs, and most of the 3 MTCs have term customer way, has customer bump, has, or so on and so forth, etc. These kind of headache questions. Okay, so due to the increased tourism in G country in last 10 years, TAC Airlines operates city flights from La Aurora International Airport, Guatemala City in whatever the national park is. Furthermore, they estimate the distribution of no-shows to be Poisson distributed with a mean of 3. So most likely in all the kind of questions, including the videos the professor introduced in the lecture videos, it's all Poisson distributed. I will explain later when it's normal distributed as you practice in the homework 5 and tell you the difference why it's kind of that. I will introduce later. Oh, nice. Alejandra. Okay, Guatemala, La Aurora. Oh, to fly on these planes already close to suicide. Oh, I can tell. I can feel that. Even I read this, it's very close to suicide. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Suppose TAG overbooked 5 passengers. It takes reservations for 70 passengers. What is the probability that TAG will have passengers bumped away? So, so we don't care in this kind of question. The capacity is, we don't care how many the total seats in that flight. So we don't care that, but we care how many overbooked. It will tell you how many overbooked. In this question, it's 5 passengers overbooked. Then you draw the table, the 2 columns. make it simple. We don't need 3 columns. 3 columns, we don't need 4 columns. We don't have to make it fancy. So 2 columns. First column, number of no-shows, because overbooking, the no-show is random, and all we know is the no-show is based on what kind of distribution. So first column, number of no-shows. Second column, number of customer bumped away, or depends on the question. For example, we have another question that with empty seats. How many 3 or more empty seats? The probability have 3 or more empty seats. Then we have the second column is empty seats. Okay. So first column, first row, we start from 0. If 0 no-shows in this question overbooked 5, then we have 5 customer bumped away. If we have 1 no-shows, we have 4 customer bumped away. Blah 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 blah. If we have 4 no-shows, then there's 1 customer bumped away. If we have 5 no-shows, we have 0 customer bumped away. Bumped away literally means customer left, or customer were forced to left. They hold the valid reservation, but they don't have the seats for them. So you have 5 customer bumped away. No, sorry. You have 5 no-shows, then you have 0 customer bumped away. If you have 6 no-shows, then you have still 0. So overbooked by 5 passengers, the probability have passengers bumped away is, it says the probability that your no-shows is going to be 4 or less than or equal to 4. So you know I just talked to you that the demand model is the probability that demand is less than or equal to something, or less than or equal to Q. We write it as f of Q. So here the probability that no-shows is less than or equal to 4. Then we write it as F4. So after the step after the F4, you need to get is go to the Poisson distribution table to find the S is equal to 4 and find the probability. Okay, second one. Suppose TAG overbooked 6 passengers. What is the probability that TAG will have at most 1 empty seats? So I made up this question by myself. So overbooking quantity 6, we don't care what the capacity is. If you add the capacity, it's fine, but that way it's gonna confuse yourself. Make it simple. So we overbook quantity 6. So Q is overbooking quantity, then Q is 6. Still, we're mapping the problem with 2 columns table. Header, number of no-shows. Second column header depends on the question. The question is asking the probability that TAG will have at least 1 empty seats. So header we put will be the empty seats. So we map it from 0. 0 no-shows. If 0 no-shows, then 0 empty seats. If 1 no-shows, still 0 empty seats. Blah 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 blah. And then we have 5 no-shows. That's going to be still 0 no-shows, still 0 empty seats because we overbooked 6. And if we have 6 no-shows, we still have 0 empty seats. We have 7 no-shows, we have 1 empty seats, and 8 no-shows, we have 2 empty seats. So they're asking you the probability that at most 1 empty seats, which means at most means greater or equal to 1. So the probability that at most 1 empty seat is equal to the probability that empty seats is less than or equal to 1. Yeah, sorry, I explained wrong. So it's empty seats is less than or equal to 1. And the equal to the probability that no shows is less than or equal to 7. So here is Q map is f of 7. Then you go to the Poisson distribution table with Q equal to 7 and find the probability. That's easy. Easy job. Okay, next question. Suppose tag overbooks 6 passengers. What is the probability that tag will have at least 1 empty seats? So still, mapping 2-column table with first column header number of no-shows and the second column header number of empty seats, because our question asking you the empty seats. And then you start from 0, blah, 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 blah. In the table, you see the overbooking quantity is 6. And in the shadow pad, the shaded pad, the probability that have at least 1 empty seats is equal to the probability that empty seats is greater or equal to 1, which is you go to the first column to see it's same as the probability that no shows is greater or equal to 7. So you don't know the probability that no shows greater or equal to 7. You only know the demand model. There's no shows less than or equal to something. So it's same as 1 minus the probability that no shows less than or equal to 6. Then it's 1 minus F6. So, okay, that's still the same step to find the probability by using Poisson. And in the Poisson distribution table, you find Q is equal to 6 and find the probability. And also, why is not F7, it's F6. So this one is Poisson distribution, and the Poisson distribution is a discrete distribution. So if you visualize the Poisson distribution, it's gonna be the discrete dots in the graph. So you have to go upper. If you find something is no shows greater or equal to 7, then you pick 1 minus. When you pick 1 minus, you have to go 1 less, which means 1 minus probability of no show less than or equal to 6. But if it's normal distribution, when you did the homework, 5, the last question, remember the last question? When you do that, it's normal distribution. The no-show is normal distributed. So normal distribution is a continuous distribution. So when you draw the normal distribution, it's a perfect the bell curve. So it continues. So if it's normal distribution, then the no-show greater or equal to 7 is equal to 1 minus that probability of no-show is less than or equal to 7. We do not subtract 1 because the normal is a continuous distribution. Make sense?
Sorry, can you explain that one more time? When I've been trying to look it up in look up the probability, I've always kind of struggled with looking up the probabilities in the distribution table.
Okay, so let's talk about the Poisson distribution only. So furthermore, they estimate the distribution of no-shows to be Poisson distributed. So when it's Poisson distributed, here, if you see probability of no-shows is greater or equal to 7, then you take 1, subtract the probability of no-shows less than or equal to 6. For example, Q, probability of no-shows greater or equal to Q, then is equal to 1 minus the probability of that your no-show is less than or equal to Q minus 1. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling still just a little bit to picture it.
Let me
Can you pull up the Poisson tables or the distribution tables? I think that would probably help.
Yeah, so let me write down if probability of no shows greater or equal to the same as the probability show less than or equal to -1. Okay, it's just for normal. Don't use -1, it's Q. Let me see. I don't have Poisson and normal tables here.
I just put it in the chat if that helps there, Ray.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I found it. I found the normal tables. Okay. So normal table. Yeah, so because so for example, this one. This is the probability that S is equal to 3. Then the S3 is basically tells you that 0, 1, 2, 3. It's 0, 1, 2. It's the probability is cumulative. So it's kind of slightly off, but this is the basic concepts. So in that question, we go back to the question.
So using the mean on this table, like the mean is way higher than 3 for looking it up on this table. Oh wait, no, it's not. Sorry, the mean, it has, never mind. It says it has a mean of 3, right? Maybe
Yeah, mean. So don't worry about it, because in the lecture videos, the mean is 27 point something. So in the final exam, it will not happen. It's out of the range. If you cannot find the mean, it's not on the table.
Okay.
Okay, so that will never happens in the exam.
Okay, so if it's outside that, then we probably should be using just normal distribution. We probably have the whole question wrong.
No. So if it tells you the Poisson distribution, then you use the Poisson distribution table. But the mean has to be inside of the range on the table. You can find it on the table.
Okay.
But if its mean is too large, then that will not happen.
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's all. And I list some practice problems in the slides. You might need to go to the multi-tail problems in the problem sets 4, but if you don't have time, it's fine. Okay, this is optional.
Is that like the electricity problem or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just asking you the lost cells of as each tail, each boundary of the tail. Yeah, other than that, it's fine. And also, I'm gonna add it. So it's the homework one. I've got OSC question. Okay. Okay, anybody
Thank you,
have
Ray.
questions? I think I need to change something here. Descending order means most to the least or least to the most.
Descending
Most.
highest.
Yeah, I should change the ascending so it's lowest to the highest. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna save it and upload to the canvas.
Is there a chance you go back to that last slide just for a second?
What was that?
Is there a chance you go to that last slide just for a second? I might have some studying tonight and I just want to look at it again.
The
Very
last,
last one.
last 5?
Yeah, the one that has the problems we should pay attention to.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. This was super helpful.
Okay, no problem.
Hey, real quick, are there going to be questions about the case studies or?
Are you the graduate or undergraduate?
Graduate.
So I think the sports up major is going to be in the exam.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so what kind of methodology they use and yeah, go look at the case.
Not necessarily like calculation stuff, just more methodology, something like more conceptual type questions.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if you covered this earlier. For the graduates as well, is there going to be any of the AF ratio, like empirical demand stuff?
I don't know. I cannot remember them all.
Okay.
I would say not significantly. Are you there?
Yeah. I was in like the review session that Sarah had, I think, like over the weekend, and I wrote down like empirical demand and AF ratios on my notes, but I don't remember if she said that they were most likely not on there, if they were going to be on there.
Oh, yeah, okay. The empirical distribution. I don't think so, but I need to go double check. So, but
Okay.
I would say it's not significantly statistically significant on the final exam.
Has a low probability.
Yes.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording and let me know if you have any more questions. And also, if you have any questions about quiz 2 and want to make appointment with me, go ahead and send me the email through Canvas, and we can set up time on one-on-one session. Okay. Thank you.
You're gonna upload this file to Canvas, the new PowerPoint, right?
Yes, I'm going to upload to Canvas, and also is go check the announcements. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot.